What's going on, folks? How we doing tonight? Just to let you know, I'm driving to the Top Productions tonight. Marcus has his first show going on over there tonight. SAT, Saints, Astros, and Taggers, LSU Taggers. Evan and Jamie are both being guests on his show tonight, going over the draft preview. I did catch up on it a little bit, but obviously, sometimes you can't always watch the shows. We got other shows going on, like tonight. We're going to talk a little baseball. Phoenix getting in the show early already. There she is. We're going to talk baseball tonight. We're going to bring in the Cleveland guy first, Mr. Johnny. Let's bring him in. Oh, Phoenix, chill, baby, chill. Oh, what's up, John?
What's up, Adam? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was hoping to talk about Cleveland losing the first game of the series and then sweeping the rest of the games, but we lost today, so that pattern did not continue.
No, it did not.
But you can't win them all. It does suck because now I think the Tigers are above us, and we fell to third, I think, after the loss today.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. Two and a half back. Yep.
I feel that they're usually cold, but right now they're staying kind of warm, I guess. Usually around this time, they're a little bit lower, and then all of a sudden they start getting hot once the weather breaks.
Yeah, they had the same record going into today, same record last year. So I guess that's something to hang your hat on, but it just seems a little extra cold and seems ugly so far. So
all right, well, maybe we'll talk about them as the show goes on. John, I don't think you've ever done a show with Jason, returning guest. He's been here for Dodgers and Green Bay, and he's really knowledgeable at all his sports, really. But those are the two teams he mainly focuses on. Let's bring him in and see how he is.
What up?
What's up, Jay? What's going on, man?
Adam, nothing much, man. I'm excited to be back on the show. Excited to be talking some baseball tonight and hopefully talking some NFL football tonight. Hopefully we can squeeze in a preview of the schedule, talk about Aaron Rodgers going Broadway bound. So, but that might come later, hopefully. Excited to be back on the show. John, this is a first for you and me. Looking forward to talking sports with you tonight, my friend.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Appreciate it.
Yep.
First off the bat, John, would have you dropped Rosario in the lineup? Or let's see if that pattern continues and see if May brings on the hot streak again like it's done the last 2 years.
It's a great question. I mean, you could say number 2 hole is probably one of the most important spots in the lineup. He's doing real bad, but again, he kind of did this last year as well, and then really turned it on. Seems to be the MO for the Guardians. Almost said Indians. So
you're allowed on. I'm not going to yell at you, and Mark. He calls them Indians all the time when he's with us. Just to let everyone know, Mark is doing some traveling this month, so can't wait to get him back on here to the show. He is going to Italy at the end of the month, so very excited for that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. And he's got some graduate. I think he's taking his daughter because she graduated college. So.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun. I would probably give it, to at least Memorial Day, into June maybe. See if he's still struggling, then I would start looking. The problem is nobody else is hitting, so who are you going to put up there?
Well, last year, in 21 and 22, at 21 he hit 179 in April with a 555 ops, and then in 22 he hit 211 with the average, and then 523 with the ops, and that was April only. And this year he's at 217 and 562, so he's getting a little better as we progress here.
Yeah.
But then in May, it seemed that that's where it really popped. He went 307 and 808 on the ER and the ops in 21, and then in 22, he batted 259 and 641 on the ops. So I don't know. I think Terry Francona is just following suit and saying, you know what, he's gonna get it, and we're gonna roll.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that. I mean, Tito always kind of holds out to the very, very end before he makes a change. And, I just think that's kind of Rosario's MO. So, hopefully he starts warming up here as the weather turns a little bit and starts hitting some hits. But again, they have nobody to put in there at this current time because, Jimenez would be a great person to put in there. The show we did with Mark, before the season, I think I said something along the lines of Jimenez would be a good number 2 hole, but he's hitting, 210. I don't know what his OPS is, but it's not looking good. So nobody in the team's hitting right now. They score maybe 1-2 runs a game. They got shut out for the 5th time this season so far. So, they got to start warming up or it's going to be a long season.
Jimenez got robbed of a really nice catch by the second baseman today for Detroit. I don't know who it was, but it should have got in there, and he made a hell of a catch over the shoulder.
Yeah, I didn't see much today.
I just listened on the Sirius XM radio at work, so they were ready to kill me. They're like, we have to listen to an Guardians game. But Jay, what's going on with the Dodgers, man? You got Will Smith back. I'm excited about that because he is on my fantasy team, and he happened to hit a bomb today. Freddie Freeman hit one, then Will Smith followed and hit a bomb right after him, so that made me feel good.
Yeah, ever since coming off the concussion IL, Will Smith has slowly but surely started to swing a hot bat again. And you mentioned the home run that he hit today, Adam, but I think he also hit one in the game yesterday that the Dodgers won as well. So his bat is starting to heat back up since coming off the concussion IL. The Dodgers started the season off 13-13. It was looking really bleak, and since then they've gone 10-3 in their last 13 games. And let's see. I was checking out a stat earlier today where I think during that stretch where they were 13-13, I think they were batting like 189 or 190 with runners in scoring position. Well, during this little streak that they're on right now, they're batting just over 250, 255 with runners in scoring position, which is pretty good for them. Real excited about seeing these rookies starting to come around here. Miguel Vargas has, I think, 17 or 15 or 17 extra base hits in his last 21 at-bats.
I was about to get into that guy because he hit one today. He hit a home run today.
Yeah, so Miguel Vargas is interesting. This guy, earlier in the season, Dodger fans,
Jay, just to let you know.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. I'm not near my computer, so I can't look up the stats right now. But
remember, this guy couldn't even swing the bat in spring training, and I mean, everyone talked about the Zach Greinke fooling around with him, throwing basically just little league fastballs at him because they know he can't swing.
Right, exactly. And that's what really infuriated me about Vargas. Not that it was his fault, but Dodger fans on Twitter were basically with their pitchforks and their torches out there saying, option this guy back to AAA, send him back to AAA, send him back to AAA. Well, don't you dodos know that he's up there with a partially fractured thumb? Well, it seems like that thumb is starting to heal a lot better because he's swinging the bat much better. His hands are spaced a lot more evenly, so he has more of a grip on the bat. But yeah, like I said, 15 extra base hits in his last 21 at-bats, including today. He's starting to swing a hot bat. James Outman, by the way, I still believe leads the National League in OPS, if I'm not too much mistaken. He's a rookie. And
I have him on my fantasy team, Jay. I was going to talk about him.
Yeah, Outman, I love the at-bats that this guy puts up there. Even when he goes down swinging.
8 home runs, too.
Yeah. He has 8 home runs. That OPS is still above 980 or 960 or something like that. He's putting together
RBIs, 36 hits.
Yep, 23 RBIs, 36 hits. He is very quietly, and I say quietly, but loosely, but he's quietly in that running for National League Rookie of the Year right now, at least in the early going. But the Dodgers, they're on a little bit of a momentum push here, so we'll see how long they can keep it up. And that series we had against San Diego last weekend was really exciting. It felt like a September matchup rather than an April or a May matchup.
Well, we're getting the matchup again with May going at it against I saw that today. They're doing the rematch. May pitched off against who?
It was Dustin May. I think May went up against, if I remember correctly. Oh, I'm having a brain fart here all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I saw that they're rematching, and I didn't click on it to see who it was.
I think it might be Blake Snell, if I'm not too much mistaken.
But John, back to you. Jay was mentioning people getting sent down, and then Gonzalez gets sent down because he's being crazy at the plate. And do you think being sent down is going to calm him down?
I hope so. I mean, Gonzalez is one of the most interesting players because his tools don't really match up for long-term success. He just got really hot, in September and October last year and ended up being like, one of those crazy stories. But it was always coming into the year, always kind of worried, like, how's this going to work out this year? He chases a lot, he has the worst swing discipline or whatever it's called. I don't know what the proper term is, but he chases a lot. And he got to the point where he couldn't play every day. So how can he get better if he can't play every day? So I think that's their decision to bring him down, get every day at bats, try to get out of that funk and try to get some discipline and be a more consistent hitter. So hoping, he snaps out of it. It's just always coming into the year was going to be one of those, scary things to see what happened. So I don't know. We'll see.
And I see that McKenzie and Savell are starting to throw down in spring training. They're out west in spring training out there at the Arizona complex.
Yeah, extended spring. I think McKenzie is ready. From what I hear, they put him on the 60-day DL right, a week before the season started. So he did an interview somewhere. I heard it. I can't remember where, but he pretty much said he was ready. So I think as soon as Memorial Day hits and he's eligible to come off, he's gonna get back in the rotation. Savali had, yeah, they really do. The problem is the pitching for kind of like how the Indians do. It's just these guys keep coming up, and there's not a huge setback. So the problem
Bateman, is that his name, Bateman? Batterman.
Yeah, they got Logan Allen, Hunter Gaddis.
Who pitched today? Batterman? Was that Baterman? Batterman?
Today was did Bieber pitch today, or was it yesterday?
Bieber pitched yesterday. He pitched 7 innings.
I gotta look who pitched. I didn't catch.
I could have swore that was the guy's name.
Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman. That might be it.
I can't think of his first name right now. Is it Hunter? No, Hunter Gaddis. I don't know. I'm starting to get the minor league mixed up. But Battenfield, yeah. So
Battenfield.
They're all pitching all right. Yeah, that's it. They're all pitching all right. It's just they can't get any hits together. They're the lowest team in home runs, and they can't string any hits together and can't score any runs right now. So they gotta get some pop in the bat. And Josh Bell hasn't. He had a good weekend in Washington. It was probably, I don't even know how long ago that was. Probably 3 weeks now. And other than that, he's kind of just been, low and no added pop to the lineup. So it's struggling right now.
Jay, is Muncy going to keep this tear up at 12 home runs?
He'll keep it up for now. Eventually, he's going to hit another rough patch in the road where he goes like hitless and 31 at bats, or he goes like 11 for 85. Muncy is one of the streakiest hitters in baseball, so he'll keep it up right now. But yeah, eventually he'll get to that patch on the road where he's just not seeing the ball well. Pitchers aren't throwing him the stuff that he wants to get. So yeah, I mean, eventually he'll hit that patch just like all hitters do. But right now he's locked in, seeing the ball really well. And the one thing that I've noticed from Muncy that I didn't notice in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season when it started is that he just seems more confident, Adam. During that first 2 or 3 weeks, he went up there looking like a deer in headlights up at bat. But now that confidence is coming back, and now that he's confident, he feels a lot better in swinging the bat. So I think as long as that confidence stays with him, he's going to continue to stay hot, continue to be a selective hitter before he does hit that other proverbial patch in the road where he does kind of hit another slump again.
Do you feel the loss of Turner is helping Muncy?
You know what? Actually, I do. I'm not a fan of Muncy at third base overall, but I have noticed a marked improvement in his defense, primarily at third over the last couple of weeks. And when I was watching the broadcast yesterday, actually, Dodgers pregame guy said that he's been getting in a lot of extra work with the coaches about an hour before batting practice even starts, just doing nothing but fielding grounders at third. So that extra work is paying dividends. And right now his defense is a lot better than what it was, say, a month ago. So, but still, with that being said, I don't like him overall at third still. I think from a longevity standpoint, I would much rather have him at first base than I would at third.
All right. Jared, is this the part where the Dodgers just run away with the division?
Let me
No.
add.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
When did JD Martinez go to the Dodgers? Did I miss this or something?
JD is on the Dodgers. He's currently on the injured list. He had some kind of a back spasm, and Dave Roberts put him on the IL about a week and a half ago. But he signed a 1-year deal with the Dodgers for I want to say $9 or $10 million per year.
Jeez. How's Trace Thompson? Is he any good?
Thompson's awful right now. He's 0 for his last 23. He's batting after today's game. I think he's batting 138 or 139. He just you know what, John? He's a flash in the pan. He's kind of like Kike Hernandez. He's a flash in the pan. When he gets hot, he gets hot, and when he gets cold, he gets ice cold. And right now, he is extremely ice cold. In fact, he's kind of a detriment to them offensively because he hits lefties better than righties. And Dave Roberts is sometimes constrained to put him in the everyday lineup simply because he just doesn't hit right-handed pitching very well. So right now, he's just relegated to the bench, and they're not even bringing him on for spot duty anymore. They just kind of bring him up as a pinch hitter in the last inning and a half of games. So he feels like he's kind of being phased out there slowly but surely.
If my memory serves right, he was on the White Sox, right?
He got him in a trade. This was back in 2016, 2017, I think. They got him in a trade. He had a couple cups of coffee with them. Then they released him. Then he played in San Diego, spent some time in Detroit, went back to Chicago, played with the Cubs, went back to the White Sox, and then found his way back to the Dodgers. So he's definitely made the tour of a lot of major league teams in that short little 4 or 5 year span.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the Dodgers, when the Dodgers got him last season, they basically got him for cash considerations. So from Detroit, so they got him for next to nothing.
I mean, I'm just looking at the Dodgers right now. You got Muncy with 12 home runs, Outman with 8, Betts with 7. I have him on my fantasy team. I feel like he hits a home run every day. Chris Taylor 7, Freeman 6, Will Smith 6.
Yeah.
Hayward 4.
Mm-hmm.
To put things in perspective, the Indians, Jose Ramirez, J-Ram, is the only guy with 4, and he's the highest on the team.
Yeah.
That's how little power they got right now. Josh Bell's got 3.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just not hitting the ball hard. And it's catching up to them now.
Well, let me ask you this, John. How good are the Guardians at doing other things to manufacture runs besides hitting home runs?
Usually they're really good. Last year, before even the rule changes that made it easier to steal, they stole probably led the league in stealing. They got they kind of went against the grain of exit velocity and just swinging for the fences. They spent years just drafting contact players. And a lot of those guys – now, last year they had 17 rookies come up to play. So you know how it goes the second year. Usually, like, obviously they don't have 17 guys playing now, but throughout the season last year, they had 17 guys. This year, Quan started last year like out of control, and he died. He slowed in May, and then had a consistent year the rest of the year. He's just been below average so far this year.
Yeah,
and like Adam said earlier, Oscar Gonzalez, he's already been sent down. Jimenez, who made the All-Star team last year, second base, he's just batting awful. So, and he's down in the 6-7 hole. I mean, they're just not stringing the hits together. So they're good at pitching. The bullpen's been all right, but the problem is if they make one mistake, two mistakes, we can't get back into it. So.
Well, John, I'm kind of glad you brought up the Dodgers' power because they lead the National League in home runs, but they're second to the last in the league in batting with runners in scoring position. And while watching the long ball is fun, chicks dig the long ball. I'm a baseball purist. I grew up with baseball where I saw teams bunt, sacrifice, steal, hit and run, do all the essentials to manufacture runs when the home run ball wasn't working. And the Dodgers, quite frankly, haven't done that very well. And so while hitting home runs is fun, watching them launching it out of the park is fun. What frustrates me to no end is when the Dodgers get the bases loaded with nobody out, the next batter goes, swings at a slider on an 0-2 pitch that's about 5 feet outside the strike zone. The next batter comes up and Miguel Rojas pops one about 5 miles high right in front of the catcher. And then the next batter comes up and just hits a nice little lazy, weak blooper of a grounder to third base for the third out. That's what frustrates me more than the power's great. But if the Dodgers can't score with runners in scoring position and do the intangibles needed to score runs when the home run ball isn't flying, just like last season of the postseason when they went 5 for 35 in that series against San Diego with runners in scoring position, to me, it doesn't amount to a hill of beans how many home runs you hit as a team. If you cannot manufacture runs the old-fashioned way, especially in the postseason, you're not going to win diddly-poo.
No, yeah, especially in the postseason.
Yeah,
I mean, so hard to score then. The Indians were so good last year, going first to third and stretching everything, long singles to doubles, all that. But so far, thinking back last year, it's the same thing as last year. It was awful to watch. It's just there's no action. Games are quick. Nobody's getting on base. And then, like June, July-ish, they started hitting a stride. And going into September last year, they were either down a game or tied for the Central. And they ended up winning the Central by, I think, over 10 games because they had 2 weeks where they played the Twins that were in second place and the White Sox that were in third and pretty much swept them for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And, so that's kind of, Cleveland's MO is to try to hover around 500 and get hot in the summer, late summer and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way they do it every year. It's like why even pay attention to the Guardians? Like hardcore pay attention until it hits like late May, early June.
Yeah,
like when they start warming up a little bit.
I mean, and I don't know what they do in LA, but like over here, until school lets out, they start the games at 6, and sometimes I'm like, I'm still either working or whatever, and next thing you know, it's like now with the new rules, the 6th inning, I'm like, oh my god, I missed the whole game,
Right. Well, there's the Dodgers. The Dodger fans, I should say, have long been the butt of jokes as far as going to games early. In fact, or going to games late. I'm sorry. The old adage with Dodgers fans is arrive to the game late and then leave the game early. But now with the pitch clock speeding things up, you practically have to map your time out so you can get there. Because if you're a Dodgers fan, you show up at the Ravine 2 hours late after first pitch, it's already going to be the 7th inning, and if you've already missed 1/3 of the game.
I mean, with the Guardians like not hitting, they've had
Yeah.
multiple games like right at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, like I said, their pitching's not giving up much. Yeah, they lost 5-0 today, whatever. But
No, we
they're losing
we
every.
faced what was that? Edward Gonzalez today,
Yeah,
who's
that was
been
pretty-
absolutely dominant for these Tigers lately.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's been lights out. I think the last 6 starts, they said.
Now,
yeah.
now the Tigers did this last year too. They started off, decent, and then I think they got the 3rd pick in the draft. Like, they were awful. I don't even know if they ended up winning 60 games. So, but I hate losing to the Tigers. But either way, the games are going by so fast. No hitting. It's just like I've missed a lot so far. I'm just ready for the game to start at 7. I'm kind of used to that, and get done with school.
So now that we're 35, 36 games into it, what do we think of the new rules?
Adam,
Bases, the pitch count. Do we like it? Do we not?
I'm still not a fan of the big bases. I mean, I know that stolen bases are up a lot, and I mean the commissioner and some other
pick off twice, and it's an easy jump from middle of the infield to second base. It's not too hard.
Yeah. I know that a lot of the people involved with the rule changes will say, well, we're responsible for making the bases bigger, leading to the increase in stolen bases. I don't know, but I will say this: I'm getting more. I'm becoming more of a fan of the pitch clock. I really am. I was skeptical about it at first, not knowing how it was going to be handled, but I think so far the umpires have done a fairly decent job at making sure that if pitchers violate the pitch clock, they let them know. If the batters violate the pitch clock, they let them know, and then let the opposing managers know. Okay, here's where we stand, and here's how the pitch clock works. And as far as having the game speed up as a result of the pitch clock, that's what I like the most. I will admit that. Being a loyalist, I didn't like it at first, but I do like the fact that we are seeing some faster games go by here. And the one thing I love most about it is that it's starting to spark some more renewed interest in games at this time of the year. Normally, sports fans don't get into baseball until it's late September, early August, but now we're starting to see people talk about the games just because of the rule changes, and I think it's actually been good for baseball right now, at least in the early going.
I haven't really noticed anything with the bases. Like, just watching on TV, I haven't noticed them being bigger. Obviously, I see the stats of steals being up big time, and I don't know. Adam, I think we talked about this when we did the preview or whatever. I liked your idea of just having first base being a little bit bigger for the safety issue. And then other than that, I would keep the other bases the same, give the catcher a chance. I really haven't thought much about the pickoff rule. But in terms of the pitch clock, I don't mind it. I just feel like I'm not quite used to it yet, and some of the stuff I do feel is a little rushed. And maybe I need to get, like I said, I've missed quite a few games this year, and maybe I need to get more used to it and watch more of the games. I think come end of the year playoff time, or at least at the end of the game, they gotta find a way to, because that like 10 seconds or whatever, in the playoffs where every pitch counts, like that's the best part of it, in my opinion. And I don't want to lose that. You know what I mean? I personally, going back a couple of years, I love the runner on second base rule. I think it's, nobody wants to watch the game go like, 16, 20 innings. They got rid of in the playoffs that game against the Rays last year. I don't even remember that playoff game. Dude, that went like, how many innings did that go? Like 18 innings?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was upper, John. I know that.
And nobody even got a hit. There was not, it was just 3 and out, 3, so I don't know. It switches up. But as the pitching clock, I'm not quite there yet. I totally understand why they do it, and it makes sense, and it's great to get, like Jason said, get more people into the games earlier and eyes on the sport, and that's what they got to do. They got to adapt to the new age. But I just think it might take some off at the end during playoff time, and we'll see if they start laxing the rules later in the season. We'll see what happens.
So you think they might ease the line a little bit because it's playoff time and people need to think a little more?
Yeah, yeah. And for the Guardians, what Karinchak and Jason, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's kind of a psychopath, but he's like he fought for the closer position. He's now our setup man.
Yeah,
he's probably been one of the most affected by the rules than any pitcher out there, because he has this whole routine. He grabs the rosin in his hair and all this stuff, and it's affected him. He's lost, I think, 2 or 3 games, just more or less on the pitching clock. And even our closer, who takes a little time, he's one of the better closers in the league.
Got 13 saves on the year right now.
Yeah. He struggled early too, and he's another kind of slow delivery guy. But I think Clase is starting to get it. Karinchak, he almost pretty much got taken out of that 8th inning role and had to, go in the 6th or, whenever was the game wasn't really in jeopardy, and figure it out. So he's getting there. The last few outings he's been pretty good. And then we just got Henches back from the DL, who's also kind of fights for that 8th inning role. So, but yeah, I would say Cleveland's one of the most affected teams with the pitching clock, especially in the bullpen. But they've been doing okay. It's kind of hard.
Jay,
yeah,
go ahead, John.
Even though you get so used to Class A, last year, dude, that guy was throwing 101 and unhittable, and now you're like, oh, you gave up a save, and it's like something's wrong. But it's just baseball.
Jay, just curious, are these Dodgers gonna just hit the batting cage against left-handed pitching?
That is a tough question to answer, because the Dodgers have so many hitters in their lineup right now, Adam, with some really uneven stats. Like Mookie Betts, for example. You take a look at Betts, and coming into today, I think he was only batting 248 or 249. So he hasn't gotten really hot yet. Freddie Freeman kind of hit a slump before the last couple of days. His bat's starting to heat up a little bit.
I saw that.
Yeah, and
must because be that Blizzard commercial he's doing.
Yeah, right. I know. But I mean, given their proclivities with not being able to hit left-handed pitching, the one thing that Dave doesn't have in his lineup or on his bench that he had a lot of the last few years was a lot of depth, a lot of effective depth too. So he's very limited in terms of his effective hitters being able to switch guys up, mix and match lineups on a day in and day out basis. So I don't know, Adam. That's a tough question to answer. I guess only time will tell to see how it all unfolds.
How's Tony Gonsolin doing since he's returned?
I know
he debuted in Pittsburgh and got beat, but anyway, how's he been doing since?
Yeah. So Gonsolin has actually done a fairly good job. They're ramping up his pitch load game by game, inning by inning. I know in that first start of his against Pittsburgh, they held him to, I think it was 45 pitches, and they took him out after the 4th inning. But they're ramping up his workload slowly but surely, which is good. The start that he had against Milwaukee on Monday was his best start so far. And even though he gave up 3 runs, all 3 of them were earned. That was the only blemish on his night. He had 6 strikeouts and only 1 walk going into that 1 inning where he gave up the 3 runs. So he's getting better, looks more comfortable out there on the mound. And the thing with Gonsolin is he's not going to overpower these guys. He's not going to come at you with Nolan Ryan, Roger Clemens, and Bob Gibson stuff. He relies on pitch selection, location, and deception to get hitters out. And if none of that's working for him, he's not effective. But at least right now in the early going, most of it's working for him, and I like what I see so far.
John, what do you see needs to happen here in Cleveland besides the weather getting a little warmer?
Well, that might never happen, but you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but they got to figure out how to hit again. You know, they're not getting much production out of right field. They're kind of platooning to, you know, well, Gonzalez was out there and Will Brennan's come up, but you know, and then Josh Naylor's at that position where Tito's giving him every shot to be an everyday player. He just, you know, he just talked about left-handed hitting. He cannot hit left-handers to save his life. And that's another decision, like you said, you know, earlier with Rosario, are you going to take him out of the 2-hole? Are you going to start platooning Naylor? And that's obviously going to have a serious effect on his career going forward. But, you know, yeah, everything they could do to, you know, to start hitting and get some runs, and hopefully it starts happening soon. The only good thing, unlike you know the Dodgers out in the West, is the Central just stinks. So you know they got some time to figure it out, I guess.
Are you gonna? I mean, how many games you been to, John?
None so far. I was thinking about going to the game the other, what was it, last week, or I don't know. Hopefully, pretty soon I'll get to one. I know they got who they got coming up over here.
The Angels are here this weekend. Ohtani's not pitching, but they probably will be batting.
Oh yeah, so they got the Angels this week. Then they're I think this will be 3 straight series at home, and then they'll be on the road for a little bit. So maybe after this road stand, hopefully in the next homestand, I could maybe get to a game. And
you're not going to try and go see Trout?
I don't think. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I ever saw him in person. Maybe I will. We'll see.
Jay, you driving down 5 to see them or what?
Angels or Dodgers?
Well, we know Dodgers are your team, but
yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I'll be catching that Yankee series that they play in June. So already got my tickets, and I'll be down there at probably what's going to be a sold-out Ravine to watch the Pinstripes and Aaron Judge, man.
You sitting anywhere good?
I'm going to be sitting in my typical seats, left field pavilion, right above the home run seats, about midway up, aisle 5, section 9, where a lot of the home run balls go and fly. So hopefully I'll be able to get one there.
You taking the family or?
Yeah, my wife and daughter will be going down with me, and I have a good buddy of mine I've known for over 20 years. Lives and works down in LA, so he's going to meet up there. He's a Yankees fan, so he's going to meet up there with us, and we're going to just sit back, enjoy the game, drink some beers, and probably razz each other about being Yankees fans and Dodger fans.
Nice.
Yep.
Yankees.
All right. So should we talk about this football? What's going on with that?
Yeah,
Jay, I haven't heard your thoughts. Last time we were scheduled to talk, the Dodgers were 9-9.
Yep. What's happened?
So we did not get a chance. You did not get a chance to express your feelings on the Roger deal. Coming out of the cave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay,
losing Randall Cobb, that picture in the lot, leaving Lambeau Field might have been the picture to set it all. We all talked about it, how they're walking towards the locker room, and that was probably the last time that was going to be as a Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have now officially turned the page in a new era of Green Bay Packers football. Whether it's going to be a good one remains to be seen. It's kind of funny because Aaron Rodgers, last season and the season before griped about not having the weapons around him, i.e. Randall Cobb and all those guys. But now they followed him to New York where he's going to have them. So, okay, go ahead, go figure. But you know what? Look, Aaron Rodgers leaving was inevitable. And whether he got traded to New York, whether he was released, it was inevitable. I just don't like the way it happened. I felt that the last 4 seasons, Aaron really put his own interests in front of the teams. And for a guy who won an MVP award, for a guy who came out and was very open about wanting to win, that he put his own needs in front of the Packers' needs was very selfish, I felt. But again, this is Aaron Rodgers. This is who he is. He's very acerbic on occasion. He can also be very taciturn. We know that he loves to play games with the media. He's really going to have a hell of a time with the media in New York, I'll say that. But I figured that, Adam, the last 4 seasons, I felt like Aaron focused more on Aaron Rodgers, the brand, not winning Super Bowls with the Green Bay Packers. And he was more concerned about selling himself than he was about winning football games in Green Bay. And,
very successful seasons, though.
Yeah. He had very successful seasons. I'm not saying he didn't. But what I'm saying is that even though he had the successful seasons, there were times where I felt like he checked out of the postseason in a lot of games, especially in the NFC, in the divisional playoff game a couple of years ago against the 49ers when they were up 7-0 on San Francisco. Niners came back and beat them, and I felt watching that whole game, Aaron just kind of went through the motions like, oh, boy, here we go. And he really didn't put the MVP Aaron Rodgers effort in that we knew he could to win that game. So, now he goes to New York. It seems like he's a lot happier there now. I hope he does well with the Jets. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He'll have his bus next to Brett Favre's and Bart Starr's there in Canton. But, I wish it could have ended differently from the standpoint that I wish both he and the organization got on the same page and said, look, we're going to agree to do this. Let's just go ahead and make it an amicable split, because clearly it wasn't. There were a lot of mixed messages down towards the last couple of days and weeks before he got traded. So it was, and you know what? Hey, very similar to Brett Favre's separation. Brett Favre went to New York under similar auspices. So again, it's going to be sad not seeing number 12 in green there in Green Bay anymore. But wearing Kelly green in New York, it'll seem kind of weird. But again, I hope he does well. All I can say is the Jets' window of contention, very small, because Aaron's 37, and you figure he has at least maybe 2-3 more seasons left. So if the Jets don't do something within the next 2 years, it's Super Bowl or bust for them. Make no mistake about it, especially with all the other complimentary players they put around him. It's Super Bowl or bust.
Breece Hall.
Yep. It's
those
Super
are
Bowl
just
or
the guys
bust.
that were there. I mean, MVS came in.
Yep.
Randall Cobb
came in. Yeah. So you hit all the important ones there on the head, Adam. So Aaron's excuse now for
they didn't do anything with their line.
No, and that's the big thing, is that they didn't do anything to protect him. So he's going to be running.
Did you guys see the rumor real quick? Sorry, Jay, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Did you guys see what the Jets were saying? The Patriots traded with the Steelers, so the Jets couldn't take the lineman.
Yeah, I believe Bill Belichick's actual quote was, "I want to fuck with the Jets," if I'm not too much mistaken. So, which, I mean, sounds like Bill Belichick.
If the Jets wanted to mess with Bill Belichick, they would have taken Gonzalez right there.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
Instead of giving them a 6'1", 220-pound cornerback that runs a 40 and 4.6, I think I saw.
Yeah.
That's who I thought the Steelers were going to take him to be personal. I thought the Steelers were taking him personally. That's who I wanted. I know we needed that left tackle, but I really wanted that wide receiver, that cornerback.
Yeah, I will say this about the Packers, Adam. I am excited to see what these young players do, especially now that we're going to be able to see Jordan Love on full display, assuming he doesn't get injured. Yeah, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and I love the Packers draft this season. I thought Gutekunst came out with a very solid, deep draft, especially the guy they got in the first round, Van Allen or whatever his name is. I think he's really going to be kind of a diamond in the rough for them in that first round there. So even though I'm sad to see Aaron go, the Rodgers era is over. I say bring on Jordan Love, bring on Romeo Doubs, bring on Christian Watson, Aaron Jones, and the like.
Who's the tight end, Jay?
I believe the tight end is still going to be Oh no, you know what? It's not Tanyan because he's gone. So that's a good question. I'd have to take a look at their roster and see. But Tanyan's gone. I think he went to the Saints or somebody in free agency.
John, what's going on up there with the Brownies?
Real quick, back to Green Bay. I could have sworn I got an alert or something.
Yeah.
They didn't pick up Jordan Love's 5th-year option, right?
No, actually, what they did, John, was instead of picking up the 5th-year option, they just signed him to a 1-year extension.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I think the alert said they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. I'm like, damn, that's not a good sign. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
yeah, you're right. What they did was in giving him the 1-year option and signing him to the 1-year extension, I think what they did was they left themselves a little bit of financial flexibility in the future, like in the next year or so. So that way, if Jordan does come out, if the guy does catch lightning in a bottle and throws for, 3,800 yards and 30 touchdowns, then they can talk about, signing him to an extension. So I think that's the real reason why they signed into a 1-year extension rather than pick up the 5th-year option. So that way, later on down the road, they can restructure that 1-year deal and turn it into a long-term deal with a lot of performance-based incentives tossed in.
Yeah, I see. I didn't get the whole second part, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you still want Christian Watson on your team, even though Jordan Love really has not proved himself?
Yes.
Like as a fantasy value.
As fantasy value, probably not. As a fan, yes, but as fantasy value, probably not, because it's going to take him and Jordan some time to mesh together and develop that relationship.
They did have that one touchdown that went for like 60 yards or something, which was a beautiful play.
Yeah, it was. I think, what was it, like a 50 or 54 or 55-yard pass, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Jay, real quick, are you watching this basketball game tonight?
Oh, the Lakers?
Yeah.
You know what? All the streaming channels I do not get ESPN or TBS, so I can't stream it. So I'm just gonna have to follow it on Twitter and keep track of the score.
My former co-host is at the game. Gina's at the game tonight.
Gina's at the game?
Yeah, she just put a picture on Twitter. She's like, going. She's 7-0 at the new center, so we'll see what happens.
Of course, she's a Warriors fan. I had to figure she was going to be there. Okay.
Yeah, she's a big Warriors fan. Oh yeah. John, how'd you feel about Cleveland getting by trounced?
Who? Nobody. Yeah, they they had no draft picks, so they didn't pick till 3rd round. But obviously, the story here. It's pretty much, you spent the house on Watson, and it's all dependent on him. So, we'll see what happens, and he's got to step up. It's just you're in arguably the toughest division of football, and the AFC is very quarterback heavy right now, but. I know it's fun to talk about QBs and receivers, but at the end of the day, maybe because I'm a bigger dude and I was a lineman, I still think that, trenches are where the game's won. And they invested highly in their defensive line. A lot of unknown. They got a free agent from Minnesota, big dude. Can't think of his name right now. But other than that, if they can't find a way to somewhat stop the run, because last year they pretty much just got embarrassed, it won't matter. So, it all comes down to the D-line, new D coordinator. They're going to have a middle-of-the-road defense at the very least. And can Watson get back to the Houston Watson and go from there? I mean, they got the receiver from the Jets, Mitchell, right? Is that his name? So that was their pretty much their 2nd round pick. He's kind of been up and down with the Jets, has some issues.
So John, I have a question for you. When is it going to be free masseuse night at Paul Brown Stadium?
Well,
yeah, I went there.
Well, hold on. Paul Brown Stadium is technically in Cincinnati.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. The dog pound. Let me just say that.
Yeah, we
First
act like
Energy.
dogs. We act like dogs. We've been having free massages there for years. You know what I mean? Especially in the Muni lot before the game. That's where all the craziness happens. But yeah, I don't know. He's still got a case to deal with, a case or two to deal with this summer. So yeah, no, I mean that's what you get for signing him. You gotta take jokes like that and just roll with the punches, I guess. But the whole franchise more or less depends on him. So we'll see what happens.
Are you going to go over and see Thomas get inducted into the Hall of Fame?
I thought about it. It would be pretty sweet to do. And he's
Well, if you go, let me know. I want to go see Zach Thomas.
pretty much the only good, thing about the Browns since they returned. So
They probably are going to play that Thursday game too, the Canton game.
Yep. Yeah, I think. No, they didn't announce it yet.
It'd be really cool if they did Cleveland and Miami play that game, so that way people could be there for Zach Thomas.
I think it's be Cleveland Jets. That's what everyone keeps talking about.
Yeah,
well, Darrelle Revis is there, so
yeah. So I was going to say I can't remember who on the Jets is going in, but everybody keeps saying that it's going to be Cleveland Jets. And did they?
If you want to drive over, John, I'm all for it. I went during Paula.
I feel like they may have already announced that because a few teams have done it. The Browns are going somewhere in West Virginia a week early before training camp to start training camp. So I think
knew the Browns were going to play because of Thomas. I thought that was like a thing they NFL said, but I don't recall hearing about who they were going to play. Jay, do you know by chance?
No, I don't know. Sorry.
I thought you were all knowledge, buddy.
Well, I am most of the time.
I think I think the Browns know for sure because, like I said, I think the Niners and a few other teams have gone to this resort in West Virginia. Can't think of the name of it. Super nice resort that they go there and practice for a week. So I think the Browns also, I don't know if getting a cereal, massage, whatever guy is great for culture, but they need a definitely a huge culture change because they really don't have a leader. Like Myles Garrett is great and he's, really good at defense. He just doesn't have that type of personality of being like
he's a player.
He kind of plays and he's kind of in his own little world. So they got to find some sort of leadership and culture, and I think that's kind of what they're trying to do. Get them all, like what was that movie with Denzel? Like a member of the Titans, like get them on a camp away and forced to, like each other, type of thing.
Oh, I know what you're talking. I know what movie you're talking about. They rode the bus and they had to put away their cell phones and.
Yeah, remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, John, if you want to go, I'm more than willing. I had a blast last time I was there.
See you tomorrow when the schedule comes out and see when it is. I can't remember when it is. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I wish they did the first game.
I don't even care about the first game. I just want to go see the enshrinement again.
I know. I wish they did the first NFL game. You know how you got all these games in London and wherever. I wish they did the first game at the Hall of Fame stadium. I think that would really have a big impact. Not only for the area.
You mean like opening week?
Yes.
You mean like week 1 in Canton and Tom Benson Stadium?
Yes.
Wow. It only sits to 20,000 people though.
I don't know. Still think it would be pretty cool.
I mean, it's selling out high school games.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. That's my opinion.
You're entitled. Put it out there.
That's a shocker. I can't believe I'm even allowed to have an opinion anymore.
In my show, in this world that we're in right now, you can have all the opinions you want. Once we're off the show, I don't know if opinions count anymore.
No, I don't think they do.
I'm allowed to have an opinion. There's no ring here. Anyway, anyway, let's get back to oh my gosh, what do you guys think of this Black Friday game? Jets and Dolphins, 3:00. I don't know if it's in Miami or in New York yet. They didn't announce that part.
Yeah, not yet. You know what? I would be surprised if it's not. I'd be surprised if it's not one of those primetime games. Just, I mean, give it as much TV exposure, as much national exposure as they can. But you know what? Honestly, I don't know what to think of it. It's interesting though that they have that Black Friday game for a number of reasons, Adam, because obviously that's during a time of the year when the NBA schedule is pretty heavy, and also you're looking at a lot of college football time that's being taken up there as well. So how will that affect the college football schedule? There's a lot of moving parts to this, and a lot of really interesting head scratchers as to why the schedule is being done the way it is right now. But on paper, at least, it should be a really tough competitive game. Don't know if the Dolphins will still have Tua or if he's going to be in a head brace or if Aaron's going to be there. But at least on paper, it figures to be an exciting game to look forward to.
And then it looks like they are also trying to really promote Jacksonville to be going over the pond. They have 2 games in Tottenham Stadium, I believe.
Well, their owner, Shad Khan, is from London, isn't he?
They have 1 game at Wembley and one game in Tottenham or whatever it's called.
Tottenham.
Yeah. I'm all about that Black Friday game. I think they should just throw 3 on. But yeah, Jason's got a good point there. College football is pretty much their free minor league, thing. So you might not want to totally suffocate them. But I don't know. As a guy who doesn't really shop, I'm all about that game. I'm cool with that.
All right, so it's the Falcons, Bills, Ravens, Titans, and then the Jacksonville is going to be over there twice.
Okay.
So there's six games or 3 games altogether. 2 games with Jacksonville and I imagine it's going to be Ravens in Tennessee, right?
Yep.
It doesn't have a breakdown of the games.
No.
But John,
are they doing a game in Mexico this year or no?
I don't know.
Doesn't look like it.
The one international game that really has me kind of curious is the Germany game between the Dolphins and the Chiefs. And I only say that because, Tyreek Hill, the Dolphins, has been talking a lot of smack towards the Chiefs and their fans. I would figure if the NFL really wants a ratings boost, why not take that game to Kansas City, let Miami play in KC rather than in Germany so Hill can back up the trash talk, man.
So there's no game in Mexico, Jay, real quick, and then there possibly 2 games in Germany. Go ahead.
Well, the thing with that KC Miami game, I guess the beauty of it is it's at 9 a.m. and it's on NFL Network. So they pretty much have their own empty time slot. I know, Jay, I'm assuming you live in LA. Is that correct?
I actually live, John, in Fresno, which is about 5.5 hours north of Los Angeles.
So I know 6:30 is kind of like, do I really want to watch football at 6:30? But
right.
For us East Coast guys, 9:30 is like, all right, cool. I'll just start watching football.
I get a warm up before I get into my day.
Yeah.
So, Jay, how do you do it? Kick off over there at 9 o'clock in the morning, like for all your day games.
Adam, I'm an early riser anyway, so the first thing I do, wake up, brew my cup of coffee in my Green Bay Packers mug, and then turn the TV on, watch the game before I go to church.
That's wild. So you already know how your mood is going to be for the whole day.
Damn right.
You even go to church on Sunday.
Yep. It's called effective time management, my friend.
Oh man. John, did you guys get anything good out of the draft?
I don't know. I'll tell you in 3 years. I'm not sure. No, I mean, the what do you call it? The receiver from Tennessee. Can't think of his name right now. He was the first pick in the 3rd round. He was a projected first rounder if he would have went out early the year before. But he, I don't know if his ankle or something, he got injured and he dropped. So
There's a guy that tore his ACL, right?
yeah. Achilles, ACL. I can never keep track anymore. But one of those things. So he dropped to the 3rd round. He's a big body. So interested to see him. You know, they did do a lot of investments in the receivers as well. Granted, none of them are proven, but so yeah. And then they got another big dude from Baylor. I think he started at LSU, and then what I mean big guy, I mean like kind of almost like a nose tackle type of D tackle. That was the 2nd pick. So we'll see. I don't know, man. He's a 4th round guy, so he can't really, expect too much. But we'll see if he could maybe eat up some blockers and help stop the run.
I like the Steelers' 6th round pick at cornerback Corey Price, 6'3" out of Purdue. He looks big and looks fast.
Yeah, and then they got OSU. They took 2 OSU linemen, which kind of is like almost like a Steeler thing. They tend to take nothing but OSU players. But the one left tackle, left/right tackle. I think he played right tackle, but I don't know where he's gonna play here. Either way, he's huge. Like he's like 6'7", like 350. He's like too big. You know what I mean? But they got him late. He was another guy that was like they didn't know where he was going to get drafted. And there was like a report that came out that supposedly, of course, I'm saying this because he got drafted to the Browns, but supposedly one of his quotes got taken out of context about, him saying he always wanted to be a basketball player. So they turned it into he doesn't love the game, blah, blah, blah. So if he can, maintain his weight and not, eat himself out of the league or whatever, it might be an interesting prospect for, next couple of years. But as far as this year's draft, really didn't have any top picks, and they more or less, I guess, picked their practice squad. So we'll see who comes out and see if anyone contributes this year.
Jay, how'd your draft go?
I thought the draft went really well. If I had to give it a grade, I would probably give it a B. It was very clear that Brian Gutekunst's draft based on needs and position on the team rather than star power. And please forgive me, I'm not near a computer, so I can't pull up their draft picks right now to see. But I can tell you that just from what I saw, I was actually impressed with what Gutekunst did. He got some guys that he'll be able to plug in at the need positions, and he got a lot of depth. Got a lot of depth in this draft with the picks that he had. So, and the advantage is that now that Green Bay has flipped the corner with Aaron Rodgers and they're going with a lot of these younger guys now, some of these draft picks are going to have a chance to step in right away and make an impact. And so it should be interesting to see how they do.
Random question with that Rodgers trade. Was that a huge cap hit or no?
Well, initially it was, John. What they ended up doing was before the Packers traded Rodgers, they actually went in and restructured his deal. So that way, like at the last hour or the last minute before they traded him, once the trade was made, then Green Bay would have actually saved, I think, $31 or $30 million against the cap. So they were able to restructure it in a way that they were able to save money. And as from what I understand, they told both Aaron and the Jets, look, if you don't let us restructure the deal for Aaron this way, there's going to be no trade at all. And we know that the rumors were out there that the 49ers were kind of trying to swoop in there at the last minute under the radar to get him. So, yeah, they were able to structure that deal to save them some money so they didn't take a big cap hit for next season and beyond.
Nice.
Yeah, very
I
nice.
didn't hear anything about the Niners trying to sweep in there.
That was Adam, that was a rumor that was really hot during the week leading up to the draft. And then on Tuesday before the draft, John Lynch went on Sirius Radio. I think he was on Pat McAfee's show, if I'm not mistaken. So he went on radio and flat out said, we're not, he quickly put a kibosh on that rumor and said, nope, we're not going after Aaron now. So the rumor was hot, but Lynch came out and quashed it and said, no, there's no truth to it. Can't substantiate it whatsoever.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I follow a couple Niner people.
Yeah,
a couple
you know.
hundred, but anyway, I didn't hear anything of. I maybe I missed that day of Twitter.
No, I was following Twitter the days leading up to the draft, specifically Gina, just to see if she was tweeting out stuff about the rumors, and she didn't say a damn thing. So I'm assuming that it was just fodder put out there by the media to start something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. So I mean, we all know who to look for and who to talk to, and I didn't see Melissa. I didn't see Wayne Breezy put anything up there. I didn't see any of some of the people. I didn't see Ted Talks Ball do anything, so that's why I didn't know anything about it.
Hey, Adam, let me ask you this, man. How do you feel about the Steelers getting one Joey Porter Jr.?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
But he's, it's still rookie.
Right.
Like I said, I like Corey Price better.
Okay.
Just because he was a 6th-round pick, and maybe I don't know. I just feel like we need a taller cornerback right now.
Okay.
Joey Porter's only 5'11".
Yeah.
But he's fast.
Yeah, he is.
And Corey Price also jumped 11 feet.
Where did Porter go to college again?
Penn State. A place you probably hate, John.
No, not as much as Michigan. But.
Yeah, I think Joey's old man, Joey Sr., went to I want to say Colorado State, was it?
Yeah, I think you might be right on that.
I think it was Colorado State.
Yeah, I think he went to Colorado State.
Just curious, did you guys watch any of the XFL now that it's almost over?
Nah.
Not much. It was like the AFC NFC Championship. I don't know what their divisions are called, but it was called that.
South and North.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I watched some of that. I don't even know who played. I don't remember anything that happened. It was on the TV, and I watched, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of it.
Yeah.
I feel like every game is like everything that I've ever seen. It's like the problem with those leagues are the lines are so bad, especially the offense, that the defensive line always takes over and there's no scoring, period. So all those games are low scoring, and I don't know if you guys watched the Derby on Saturday or whatever, but right after that, the U.S. whatever it's called was on, and I was watching. So I actually watched like the first half of that game, but that was the same thing. It was just sloppy. But
that was the games at Ford Field on Saturday, right, John?
I think so. I'm not sure where it was at, but it was.
I think
it was
the
on
Michigan
right after
Panthers were playing the.
Yes.
Who the hell did the Panthers lose to? Oh, the Showboats, Memphis.
Yeah. But the Panthers jersey looks exactly like Michigan, or one of the teams.
The Panthers.
Yeah, it looks exactly like Michigan. I'm like, half the time I looked up and I was like, is this Michigan? What's going on here? But yeah, it was what, Todd Haley versus what's that?
Mike Nolan.
Yeah. So it's kind of kind of tuning in. I was at a bourbon tasting thing at the Italian club I'm part of, but so no sound or anything. I was just kind of watching it.
Let's hear more about this bourbon drinking.
No, it's just I'm part of some Italian club in Cleveland, and every derby they have this bourbon tasting whatever party or whatever. So
Did you find
I
a new
went to
bourbon or what?
yeah, I just kind of after a few they start all tasting the same. You know what I mean? But
Oh man,
I tried a few different ones. Pretty fun.
no new favorite. You don't walk out with like 4 bottles of this shit going, this shit's the shit.
Then I got shit, I can't even remember which one it was. I'll think of it in a minute, but the last one I had was pretty good. I can't.
Jay, you a bourbon guy?
You know what, Adam? I don't drink hard liquor anymore. In part because I'm no longer in my 20s, but also because I'm type 2 diabetic, so I have to be really careful about what I drink. So
Totally
back in the
understand.
day,
We don't need you getting sugared up.
yeah, no, absolutely not. I will answer that by saying this: that back in the day, in my wild and reckless 20s, I was about Jägermeister, baby. Put that Jaeger in the freezer, pop open that bottle, and let's just shoot them down, man. Shoot them down till the end of the
Did you
night.
do the Red Bull?
Oh,
Did I what?
God.
Did you do Jaeger bombs?
Oh, all the time, man. Jaeger bombs,
Man,
all
my
the
heart
time.
hurts so bad the next fucking morning. Oh my god.
Yep.
I didn't
There
know
was
if it
also a
chest or what.
yeah. I also used to do a lot of shots of a popular drink called Goldschlager. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh yeah.
Cinnamon, baby.
Yep. I used to do something called a glass slipper, where you would pour Goldschlager in a shot glass, crack an egg, drop the yolk in it. And the key of the drink was you had to actually swallow the yolk without cracking it, or else it would induce you to vomit. And so I did that one night. Bartender put up a trash can right in front of me. I said, what's that for, man? He said, trust me, dude, you're going to need it if it's your first time. Sure enough, pours the Goldschlager in the shot glass, drops the yolk and the egg in the glass. Right as I drink it, all out in the bucket, man.
That's crazy.
That's why
Yeah,
they call it a
I
glass
never
slipper.
did that one. So I couldn't tell you anything about that shot, Jay.
It's called the glass slipper. I don't know if bartenders remember it or if they still know how to make it, but it was with Goldschlager and an egg yolk. And again, you just have to drink it and drink the alcohol and suck the yolk down at the same time without cracking the yolk, or else it will automatically induce you to vomit.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, pretty intense. But because
Yeah,
of my
I don't know about this shot anymore, Jay. It
Okay,
just doesn't
don't do
sound
it then.
good well.
Yeah, don't do it then. Don't do it. But yeah, again, primarily because of my health, I don't drink a lot of hard alcohol anymore, so I abstain from it.
It's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker either. I just I like a little whiskey, a little bourbon, and try that out. My Jaeger days ended quickly in my 20s after one night. It was a bad night. So after that, I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. But
Adam, you appear to me, not that I judge you, my friend, but you appear to me to be like a Pabst Keystone Natural Light kind of guy. Is that true?
No.
Okay,
my
good. Good.
my natty ice days are in the past.
Ah,
I was just ready to say, Samuel Adams came out with their porch rockers, and if you like the Leinenkugel Summer Shandy,
yeah,
this just puts the Summer Shandy kind of to shame.
nice.
All
right.
And I do like drinking whiskey.
Nice.
I do kind of. I can drink it, and then I probably shouldn't.
well, Adam, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I found out at a Browns game that I am allergic to beer. So I haven't drank beer since December 14th, 2020. Because I went into shock and, hives everywhere and fainted and all that shit. I needed an EpiPen and it was bad. So my beer days are over.
Are you allergic to the hops?
I know this is going to sound crazy because I like whiskey and Crown and stuff like that, and all that stuff's in that too, except for hops. And I went to an allergist, and I had like a small allergy to all of them. But I think honestly, there's some sort of reaction that happens out of a aluminum can that gives me that allergy because
So we need to drink
actually
out of a
happens.
glass bottle. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. So I think if I were to have a glass, a bottle of beer, I don't think anything would happen. I haven't tried it yet, but I've just noticed that because after a certain amount of time, I don't know, somewhere in my early 30s or something like that, all of a sudden when I was drinking beer, and I feel like thinking back it was a lot during, out of cans. I would get a fat lip or a scratchy throat or something like that. So
So maybe you see aluminum. Maybe you see aluminum in the cans, John.
I think my boss told me that his buddy had the same thing happen to him, and he figured out it was the aluminum can. So I haven't explored it yet. I'm not the biggest beer guy, so I don't know. But one of these days, I'll have my EpiPen next to me, and I'll give it a whirl.
Well, guys, we got anything more left to go tonight?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty much spent.
I thought we had a good conversation. To let everyone know, I think Matt's popping on. Go ahead, Matt, pop on real quick.
I see the Orioles and the Terrapins.
This is Matt, our Baltimore guy. You got a Cleveland guy and a Green Bay guy below you. Cleveland guy below you, Matt, and
I've met
Jason is
Jason
the LA
before.
Dodgers and Green Bay.
Okay. Yeah. What's going on, fellas? I just want to let you know, Adam, we were done shooting with Justin Wells. So
Nice.
we shot over.
I saw a little bit of that, and I shared it already.
Okay, I just wanted to pop over and see how you guys are doing.
So, Matt, while you're here, what did you think of your draft?
The NFL draft?
Yeah.
I love the Zay Flowers pick. I was happy with that. Even though a lot of people compare him to Hollywood Brown, different body size, different skill set. More importantly, he gets yards after the catch. So that's what we need in Baltimore with the new offense coming around from Todd Monken. I like the replacement for Patrick Queen. I don't think Pat Queen's going to be here this year. So Trenton Simpson is kind of like the second version of Isaiah Simmons. He played a little bit of everywhere except D tackle last year at Clemson. He played corner, safety, D end, linebacker, and looking forward to seeing him. There's an offensive lineman. He's a Samoan dude. I can't even pronounce his name. Looking forward to seeing the big Samoan lining up at left guard hopefully this year. We drafted Andrew Voorhees in the 7th round. He was supposed to be like a second or a third round pick, and then he tore his ACL at his pro day. So we took like a flyer on him to kind of put him on the shelf for a year. He came out of USC. And who else did we draft? Tavius Robinson, an outside linebacker from Ole Miss. They like him. I thought our draft was pretty good. I really it was only 6 players. We didn't have a whole lot of draft picks this year, but I think we had a pretty solid draft. And it's really hard to tell. They just had their first rookie mini camp, and Zay Flowers was pretty much torching everybody in one-on-ones. And I mean, we also picked that kid Caillou Blue Kelly. He's a cornerback from Stanford. His dad played on the Buccaneers for 10 years. Brian Kelly in the mid 2000s. So we got a second generation player there. Hoping that we're going to be solid. Did you say that there's a Cleveland guy in here? Okay.
That's me.
What's up, John?
How you doing?
Yeah, friendly old AFC North rivalry.
Yep. Friendly, I miss my old team rivalry.
We're different generations. We must be different generations of fans. I was 7 years old when you guys came over to Baltimore. So,
yeah, I was. Oh no, I was probably like
1997.
what,
The Ravens.
fourth grade or something like that, somewhere around there.
Adam, I hate to leave prematurely, but I do have to jet out, so I think I'll let Matt take over my spot if that's all right.
Yeah, we were getting ready to close up. I just wanted to get Matt's opinion on there. Jason, always how people get you.
Great. Adam,
All right.
it was a pleasure being on the show again. As always, thanks for having me on. Fun talking sports with you and all the other guests. John, pleasure to meet you. Let's do it again soon. Matt, let's do it again soon.
Absolutely, Jason. Good seeing you guys.
Okay.
Nice meeting you.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks again.
Take it easy.
All right, Jay, we'll talk. Matt, I don't know how you did it, but you turned my whole background into the Orioles turfs.
I didn't mean to. I do all of it. I do all of it from my phone. I don't do it on the. I
No,
do it on the
I just
laptop.
thought, I'm like, how did it? I'm like, well, I know Matt's popping over right now because everything changed into the Orioles.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize.
Oh, you're good. I don't care. I just thought it was funny, I know what's going on. No, tell the viewers what's going on.
You guys have a Cincy guy on here ever?
I
James,
put the guy
if
on,
we can get him. I know Matt knows
yeah.
that Cincy guy.
Yeah, his name's James Clark. He developed an app called Ravon Sports, where it's pretty much live sport battle chat. You sign on to your screen name and with your team, and you hop into the live game stream, and you can talk trash to other fans and react to things as is going on in real time. He's one of the co-creators of the app, and he's a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and he comes on the show during football season more. We'd have a Bengals guy if need be.
We should do a AFC North roundtable before the season starts.
We're slowly starting to throw it together. I'm gonna have a Cleveland
I know everyone
Browns.
to get one soon.
I'm gonna have a Cleveland Browns player pop through. I know now that they know that you're another Bengals fan, and a Browns fan, and Evan's a Browns fan. I know Joel Gamble. He's a former tight end for you guys.
Okay, yeah.
He's in the NFL Players Association Baltimore chapter over here, and I'm getting to know everybody on the chapter. So I'll make sure that I can have him slide through for you guys for some Browns talk as well. And obviously, our good old cab hat driving friend Adam here is a Steelers fan, unfortunately.
Ugh, the worst.
That fucking Steelers fan. Fuck.
He's the only Steelers fan I get along with, John.
I don't know how you do it.
I put the vision before. I put the vision of the network before team preferences.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, John. How people get a hold of you?
Oh, I'm a huge celebrity, so you can follow me on Twitter. Let me see if I can remember my handle. I don't really tweet, but I'll start tweeting if people want to listen or read. At JMeets2, MEETS2.
Don't worry, Matt. I'm still waiting for the follow back too, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
He is very seldom on Twitter. I don't even know. I know I'm still waiting for the follow back button from you.
I use Twitter as a, breaking news type of thing. What's going on around here. I really don't read too many people's stuff.
Matt, for joining us late, how people get you? You can find me on Instagram at MTRIG89 and on Twitter at BWATB Podcast. And on Facebook, you can just look up my name. That's where we interact with our fans for the show and our listeners. So that's where you guys can find me. Thanks for letting me come over a little bit late. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm at Sports Talking It, driving to the Top Productions, and we are out.